This is by far the best legitimate method for leveling up, getting gold, and farming legendaries that I have found so far in Diablo 4. Sure, there have been other glitches and things that you could do to level up faster or make more money, but all of those have been patched, and they'll continue to be patched as they're found within the game. So my goal was to find the best legitimate method that I don't think will be patched, because this has actually been around since the beta and is functioning as intended. This dungeon is full of elites, events, and various things that are going to spawn even more elites. This is all functioning as intended because these elites are actually used to progress further into the dungeon. Since this has high elite density, you're going to get a ton of experience, and if you're lucky, you'll get 1 or even 2 events while running through here, getting even more experience, obols, and legendary equipment. You can do this solo or with a friend, and at any tier. So if you're ever hitting a wall while you're leveling up through the game, you can use this to progress further, get upgrades, and even when you're on World Tier 4, where we are right now, you can use it to get all of your Paragon levels, farm upgrades, and honestly, it's the most efficient method that I've found so far for upgrading our characters. Throughout our time playing the game so far, grinding this dungeon from World Tiers 1 through 4, we've been able to clear the dungeon anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. The longest being World Tier 4, and we're clearing it on average about 5, maybe 6 minutes if we have some bad luck. And we are by no means min-maxed at the moment, so many of you out there will be able to clear this dungeon much faster. Now, if we average our runs at about 5 minutes at World Tier 4, we're getting 800,000 XP every 5 minutes, as well as if we sell all the items, we're getting about 400,000 gold. If you take that into an hour, we're getting about 9.6 million XP and 4.8 million gold per hour. By far the best I've been able to get so far in the game. If you're able to clear it faster, then these numbers go up. Now you can do this solo. If you do it with a friend, you're going to get increased experience. So if you can, make sure to join a clan or find somebody that's sitting outside of this dungeon and group up with them, because you guys will be able to get more XP. And yes, there is an XP bonus for playing in a group. And also make sure you always have a consumable active as well, so that way you get that extra 5% experience. Now obviously, if you're doing this on a lower world tier, you're going to get slightly less XP, but the amount of drops you should get remain the same, as well as the number of elites in the dungeon. So the amount of XP will continue to scale with you as you progress up through different tiers of the game. The dungeon we're going to be farming is just northeast of Koivashad. You're going to want to pick up this fast travel point here at the Bear Tribe Refuge, and you're going to head south down along this road right here. And then if you haven't unlocked this stronghold, you're going to need to be able to clear this area right here to be able to unlock the Annika's Claim dungeon. Once here, just head inside the dungeon and pop whatever potion you need. And we're not going to actually fully complete this dungeon. You do want to make sure you open any chest you find along the way and talk to anybody that is in the dungeon, because this will spawn different types of events. Elites will actually spawn most of the time when you open chests further into the dungeon, which is really nice. Now, the one thing that you do have to look out for is these dudes can one-shot you pretty easy at really any tier, because they have this big axe smash, but we can go over exactly how to avoid it. And it's not so bad once you know exactly what they're going to do. On World Tier 4, it can get pretty bad. These Animus carriers can one-shot you really, really easily. Thankfully, we killed that guy really quick. But we're just going to clear out this first room right here. And then you can pick which way you want to go. But essentially, throughout this, you have to kill all of these Animus carriers. These are all elites, and they're going to drop really good loot. So let's just kill this bad boy right here. Got another 2... rares, or whatever they're called. Sacred rares at this point, I guess. And what's nice is as you go up in World Tier, so World Tier 3, you're going to get a lot of these sacred drops from here, whether they're rares or legendaries or blues. You'll also get a lot of really good elixirs in here as well. God, sometimes I hate being a barbarian. Instead of picking up things, you just continue to smash stuff instead. But you're going to get a lot of gold on the ground as well. There's going to be plenty of pylons to help you clear all this stuff as well. But the goal really here is just to clear out this first area of these Animus carriers while trying to not die. You can see just how much items we're actually dropping from these. The elite mob density is really good. There's a chest. I think that spawns some extra elites as well. There we go. See, when we pop that chest, another elite spawns. You want to make sure you don't miss any of those, because you're going to get more XP if you're able to pop everything in the dungeon. I thought I was going to die from fear there. There's another one, which is going to spawn yet another elite. And all of this is functioning as intended. This has been around since the open and closed betas. So I don't think they're going to patch it or anything like that. They really shouldn't, because it still does require you actually playing through the entire dungeon, making sure you interact with the dungeon as intended. I don't see any particular reason why this should be nerfed, unless it's just I don't know, for some strange reason, all of the chests aren't supposed to spawn elites or things like that. Maybe they're not. It's not a massive bonus to the amount of XP and loot that you can get, but it still is really nice. That's the move that can one-shot you. They jump up in the air and then smash down. All you gotta do is just move behind them and they won't hit you because it doesn't actually follow you once they're in the air. So just don't face tank that and you shouldn't have any problems not dying in here. The freeze in here is probably the most annoying part, quite frankly. This particular Animus carrier is really annoying as well. They'll spawn lots of like lasers, and I think they also explode when they die. Nope, not this time. Sometimes they do. But it's a pretty straightforward process. Once you kill all the Animus carriers, we are actually going to run the second room now. We didn't do this in the open beta because it was just really quick to farm that first area. You don't have to farm the second area if you don't want to, although it does seem like there's good elite mob density back here now as well. This is also where you're going to have a chance to encounter the Butcher, as well as many of the events. So the events that you're going to be wanting to get, if you're lucky, are going to be in this back area. And there's plenty of elites as well. Maybe we'll get lucky and actually spawn 1 or 2 events back here. You can usually get a pylon event in this dungeon, and in this back room of the secondary area, there's usually like this little ghost event that we can get, which is going to spawn elites, as well as get you quite a bit of XP, obols, and all that fun stuff as well. Run back here. It's usually on the right side at the top right corner if it's going to be here. You can see just how much XP we've already gotten. Inventory's probably getting a little bit full as well. Haven't gotten any Legos yet, though, for some reason. Okay, here's the first event. So this one's going to be usually on the right side in the back. This is going to be the only reason that it might take longer than 5 minutes, because you have to sit and wait for the event. And this one, you have to wait for them to talk, and then you have to wait for all the things to spawn, which is going to take a little bit longer. The beginning of it is just these skeletons and nothing else, and then it's going to start spawning elites towards the end. Unfortunately, no elite spawn in that one, but we did get the sacred chest with a couple of really good drops, as well as the obols, which we can use to farm up our legendary aspects that we want. From here, it's just right around this corner is maybe the chance for another pack of elites. There we go. Often, this side of the dungeon, the left side, doesn't actually have anything. More often than not, it does not. So if we go around this corner, then we need to go up here, and usually this is where we can kind of stop because there's no... Oh, we don't have an elite here. It's definitely nice being able to get the 2 events because you're going to get all the extra elite spawns and stuff like that, as well as the extra chest and obols. So you just want to make sure you explore all of the first 2 areas. You're not going to fight the boss at the end. There is no reason to. Now, you can also skip the events. The events are definitely going to add a lot of time onto your clear, but if you're hunting for upgrades, legendaries, and things like that, then you're definitely going to want to take advantage of both of them, but you can increase your XP gain if you just choose to skip them instead. Once you clear the dungeon, just go ahead and leave it with your party member. Obviously, if you're doing it solo, you still need to leave, and then what you're going to do is, if you're in a party, you're going to leave that party. This will refresh the dungeon, and then just remake the party. You guys can run it again. Now, if you are in a party, what you're going to need to do is open up this menu, and then you're going to need to leave the game and re-enter the game. Don't fully exit the game because then you might have to queue, but if you just leave and re-enter, it'll refresh the dungeon. Now, if you're doing this for money, you can teleport back to town, and then once in town, just run right to the shop over here. Just run to the shop right next to your portal, and we can see how much money we make. We're at 3.3 million right now, and if we sell all these, we should get up to about 3.7 maybe if we're lucky. I just sold a legendary, which actually I want to keep that one. Buy that back. And now we're up to 3.8. Nice. So we made just about 500,000 gold from that run. Once you're done selling your items, just go back through your portal. This is going to put you back out in front of the dungeon, and you just keep running it, and you just keep doing this loop. As you get used to it, you'll be able to clear it faster and faster, and as you level up, obviously that's going to help as well. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.